Hey boys and girls, Minute with Randy Bartlett. Today we're going to talk about sharing and not sharing, and when it's the correct time and the correct way to do it. I'm a huge believer in sharing our knowledge. That's how I got started in DJ coaching. Is I felt like I had some ideas that I could share with people, and I wanted to do that. And so I do as much of that as possible. But here's one of the things that I see happen a lot is that right after every convention or any sort of learning opportunity, you see online all the DJs going, well, what did you learn? And they want a 2-sentence Facebook clip, right, a sound bite basically of what you learned in your 3 days of classes. And it's unfair, first off, for you to have spent the time, money, and energy to go, even if you could pass all that on to those who didn't make that effort. But it's also unrealistic. I mean, it's like somebody saying, oh, wow, I've always been interested in chemistry. Tell me what you learned in chemistry class. Now, you might come up with one little tidbit of something that you learned, but if you're going to learn about chemistry, you got to go to the chemistry class. You got to attend it for the entire semester. You can't just pass on a quick tidbit. And too many of us want these nuggets, and the nuggets are great, and we can share some of those, but they've got to be put in context. And I see the same thing with our DVDs. We have, I think there's about 15 hours worth of training materials in our DVD set, and I see DJs sharing those ideas, but it's not the same. You can't really pass on. You might say, hey, here's a little thing I did, but you didn't see the how and the setup and the why and all of everything else that went with it. So here's what I'm going to suggest, and there's a way to do this. When you go to a convention or you watch my DVDs or anybody's, Mike Walter or Bill Herman, anybody that has a product out there that, whether it's a workshop or a DVD or whatever, by all means, share your enthusiasm about what you've learned, and talk about it. And listen, I've got a dog in this race, right? So it's easy to look like I'm just trying to sell more DVDs, and I'm not opposed to that. That's not the point. The point is when you do this and you just go, here's everything I learned in that. It doesn't really help them the way that it should. So we get this all the time where people will call me or email me and ask if they can, show my DVD, for example, at a local association meeting. And I can't stop anybody from doing that if they want to do it. I have I'm completely aware that our stuff gets bootlegged and copied, and there's nothing I can do about unethical people. But I think if you really want to help somebody, what you do is you say, listen, at our next meeting, we're going to watch one chapter of the 1% Solution, Volume 1, and then we're going to discuss it. And so you watch 15 minutes, and then you kick around ideas, and you look at what you could do with it as individually, because people will take different things from it. Somebody might say, I would never ever do that. And somebody said, I've been doing that forever. And somebody else would be like, I've never even thought of that. That's amazing. But what if we did this? And a lot of my ideas came from what if. Well, that's a great idea. Now we can, maybe take something else from it. So share your enthusiasm, and share an idea. If you've got a great idea that can easily be shared, but make sure that you're sharing it within the context of that. And tell your buddy, listen, come with me next year to the convention. Mobile Beat has an amazing show. Coming up here in just a few weeks, Chicago, KC is putting on a show called The Marquee Show in Chicago. I'm going to Armed DJs in a couple of weeks. By the time you see this, I probably will have already been there. And, there's lots of great opportunities. So go. But this time say, hey, buddy, come with me. We'll share a room. I mean, if we need to cut back on expenses, we'll go. We'll share a room. The cost for learning this stuff is minimal. And if you hold on to this idea of like, I'm going to go spend all this money, I'm going to do all this, and I'm just going to give it out to everybody else, they don't get what they should. Otherwise, nobody would go to college, right? Why are people spending thousands of dollars to go to college when you can just look it up on YouTube, right? Everything's available on YouTube, but it's not quite the same as learning it in a classroom from a teacher who has all of the materials and books and things that go along with that. So by all means share, but share the experience, and make sure that the person, if you care enough about these people to share with them, make sure you share it in such a way that they get the full benefit, not just, oh yeah, I kind of know it would be cool to learn Spanish, por favor, right? But maybe if you want to learn Spanish, you should take a Spanish class and be there for the whole semester and practice. So that's it for this week. I made it in just under 6 minutes.